Welcome back to Be Family. This will be the last section or our training. Here we will see Travis learning about labels and ego in the TB school. To be able to implement the human rights model, you will need to be able to understand how labels and ego affect your mindset and our look of the world around us. I hope you all enjoy the lessons as much as I did.
Welcome everyone to Labels and How They Affect the World lecture. I'm very happy to have you all with me today. My name is Thomas and I will be your guide on this journey for today. Here next to me is Penny. She will be my assistant for today. Say hi, Penny. To start with, I would like someone to tell me why they are here and why do you think it's important to learn about this?
I believe this is important to learn to be able to live in a world without labels and judgment. I think I can help us implement the human rights model much easier.
I'm glad someone mentioned the human rights model. Well answered, Travis. Labels in our current society are very powerful. These labels could define a person or an object for what it is. Labels could be as simple as calling a table a table. The damaging part of labels and why it is so important to remove them is when they are applied to humans. Let's say that I tell Penny, here next to me, that she's not capable of being my assistant. I can give her a long list of obstacles, and all of these are labels that get branded into the human and becomes who we are. On the other hand, if I believe in them without any labels, I can just ask Penny, would you be able to give me a hand with my lecture today? Without pointing any labels, I accomplished to give confidence and empower Penny. This is how powerful labels are.
That is crazy. Just because someone tells me I can't do something is not like I lose my ability to do it.
You will be surprised. Let me tell you the very real story about what is called the Monster Study.
Thomas proceeds to explain the Monster Study. The Monster Study was conducted by Dr. Wendell Johnson, a speech pathologist, to learn more about why children developing a stutter. Johnson developed the Monster Study to see if stuttering was a result of learned behavior or biology. However, there are many ethical problems with the study. Dr. Johnson conducted the Monster Study back in 1936 at the University of Iowa. Ethics were not prioritized as they are now in psychology and scientific experiments. If this experiment had been proposed today, the researcher may have been stopped before they could begin. Johnson chose 22 orphans as participants for the Monster Study. Some of the orphans had a stutter. It's not uncommon for young children to have a stutter and then naturally get over the stutter without treatment. Some of the orphans didn't have a stutter. The orphans were split up into two groups with stutterers and non-stutterers in both groups. One of these groups were labeled normal speakers. The others were labeled stutterers. Throughout the course of the experiment, the children were treated as such. Johnson's team met with the children every few weeks for 5 months to evaluate their speech. Children in the normal group were praised for their ability to speak well, even if they were actually stuttering or had problems speaking. Children in the stuttering group were told that they spoke poorly. They were told things like, you must try to stop yourself immediately. Don't ever speak unless you can do it right. The children who were labeled normal weren't affected much by the researchers' praise. They saw improvement in only one child. Children in the stuttering group fared a lot worse. Remember, not all of these children actually have a stutter. They were just told that they had a stutter. Of the 6 children that were falsely chastised for their speech, 5 developed speech problems. Reports show that these children became withdrawn, and some stopped speaking altogether. These children were as young as 5 years old.
This study shows in a very harsh way the huge impacts of labels. Nowadays, examples of negative labels are not that obvious, but very existent in our current society. It is our job to be aware of the labels in our society and not fall into the habit of using them. These labels are so intertwined in our culture that something as simple as this phrase is putting a label into someone. Oh, you don't look like someone that likes to go to the movies. This innocent phrase basically shackles the person to match other person's assumptions. Labels are disabling people.
That is so much worse than I have ever imagined. I am starting to realize that during my life, I have used these labels to either protect myself or undermine others. How can we begin the journey of a label-free world?
As I said at the beginning of the training, I am but a guide. I will guide you to the beginning of your journey, and I will provide you with the tools. From there, only you can keep spreading these ideals we represent here. The tools I will leave with you are the following. Keep an open mind. Not everyone is traveling the same journey as you. Avoid assumptions. There is no right way in life, just happiness. Empathy. Look at the world through others' eyes. Never judge. Everyone is doing their best on their journey. Now, with these tools, I encourage you to go out into your circle of life and identify moments when you apply labels and try to slowly remove them. This process will take a long time, but if you're consistent and positive, you'll make a better world. Thank you everyone for attending. I appreciate everyone for attending. I hope I see everyone in my ego class tomorrow.
Now you have learned about labels and how they affect us. Now we will look at Travis taking a lecture on ego in Tibi's school. Let's see what we can learn.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone had the time to watch our Introduction to Ego online training. Now that you have a general understanding of ego, you will learn about the next level of ego and introduce intuition into the equation. The ego and intuition are both sides of the same coin. The ego sometimes will manifest as a voice in your head, usually the loudest and most dominant. The intuition will also present itself as a voice. This voice will be more of a feeling than a thought. This feeling will be linked to the action, decision, or thought that you are having or doing.
If I was doing something or taking a decision, there will be no feelings about it. I would only have thoughts and opinions. I don't think I have an intuition.
In our current society, it's common to be disconnected from our intuition. I assure you, everyone that is human has an intuition. Usually when our brains do not recognize a concept, we try to refute it or ignore it. I will explain as a voice comparison between ego and intuition. Our egos urge us to start a business in order to get rich. Intuition guides you to start a business that will help people. Our egos push us to lose weight to look good at school reunions. Our intuition guides you to lose weight to be healthier.
So how can I get more in touch with my intuition? Is there a way to help others as well?
Well, there are multiple ways to get in touch with your intuition. I believe the most beginner-friendly would be set a timer and spend 10 minutes meditating. Ensure that you will not be interrupted and silence all distractions. When thoughts start to intrude on your quiet mind, as they inevitably will, don't engage them. Just let them float up and out of your mind, leaving an empty space behind. When the time is up, jot down the thoughts that invade your quiet. Are they thoughts that often distract you from what you're supposed to be doing? Do they concern matters of legitimate importance? Start paying attention to reoccurring thoughts and messages that might be offering guidance or insight. Another way could be, grab a card and write the goal you want to achieve in life. Are you in love with what you wrote on your card? Your intuition knows if you're being true to yourself. If your heart doesn't skip a beat at the thought of it, if you aren't longing to be united with this result, then it's time to find another. The point of all of this is to learn to hear and respond to the messages coming to you from the intuition within us, which is the source of all truth and all answers. In the same way, intuition will help read the vibrations of other people. Intuition will help you read your own. Please try to implement these exercises within your routine. You'll notice that you have a more positive outlook of the world. Obstacles and sudden events will not trigger you as much. You will accept the human next to you and respect their journey. Now you have all the tools, you have the awareness, and you have the will. With open eyes, share your happiness with the world and pour it out into everything you do every day. Find your passion, follow it, and be a human first. This concludes the stage 2 of training of ego. If you would like to continue learning about how to be more human-centered, please contact Tibi to attend our latest courses and seminars.
Our journey this time is coming to an end. Dear Tibi family, it was a pleasure to take this amazing trip with all of you. Tibi believes that you reach greater highs. You encourage you to have fun, be happy, follow your heart, and share those values with the world. If you need a hand, Tibi always is going to be here to support you and nurture you. Are you ready to implement the human rights model into your life? Tibi appreciates you.